All right, my fellow agents, welcome back. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters, and this is a super scary movie. It's my favorite, probably one of my favorite Halloween type movies, Night slash Curse of the Demon. Um, it's essentially the same movie. It is the 96-minute version, of course, because what's the point in reviewing a edited one? We'll talk about it. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Also, notice that it is episode 666, the number of the beast. Just ask Iron Maiden. And like, share, let me know what you think about this movie. I think it's wonderful. I actually love the demon that's in it. I know that it probably would have worked just fine without the demon. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And if you could watch all the way through, shouldn't take too long because there's a lot of talk, but it's good talk and it's a good movie. It's a great movie. All right, are you ready? Let's roll.
It has been written since the beginning of time that evil, supernatural creatures exist in a world of darkness. And it is also said, man can call forth these powers of darkness, the demons of hell.
It is the night of the demon.
And tonight is the night that Dana Andrews, as a daring scientist, defies the mysterious, murderous devil cult in a desperate battle against the demons of hell.
Oh, why did you drop the poker?
Red hot.
It isn't, you know. Oh, my boy, you're as pale as death.
There was something in here.
He has been chosen.
I've been chosen for what? What do you mean?
Today I found all the pages of my desk calendar torn out after October the 22nd. I know why. He died on the 22nd. John, what's the matter?
The same thing happened to my desk calendar after the 28th.
The frightened girl. The master of witchcraft.
You will die, as I said, at 10 o'clock on the 28th of this month. Your time allowed is just 3 days from now.
Skeptical? Don't make up your mind till you see this masterpiece of macabre magic. Because, after all, evil, supernatural creatures really do exist.
All right, we begin with Stonehenge, where the demons dwell, where the banshees live, and they do live well. This is the actual Stonehenge. It is not in danger of being trod upon by midgets, to quote Nigel Tufnell. The movie begins with ominous narration to set the tone, and this movie is very grim. Although there are quite a few minutes of high humor in it, which is due to it's just a really balanced movie. It's a good movie. This is the opening for the British version, which was now according to the booklet, it was cut down from the 96-minute version to the 82-minute version to be released because it was too scary or something, who knows why. And then that was what got released over in the United States. So there it is, Dana Andrews and Peggy Cummings in Night of the Demon. That says 1967 if I read my 1957, pardon me, if I read my Roman numerals properly. It was released in November of 1957 in the UK and later on sometime in the US, I would assume. I don't know. There's Niall McGuinness, who gets a nice, also starring, and you can see fading in behind him are the other actors. But Niall, of course, Neil, was also Zeus in Jason and the Argonauts, and his Zeus blows away Sir Francis Olivier, or not Sir, yeah, not Francis, Olivier from Clash of the Titans. I much prefer Neil McGuinness Zeus. So, having said that, directed by Jacques Tourneur, who clashed with producer Hal Chester about the demon. Although they printed up all this demon stuff with the picture in there, it was going to be in the movie. And now it's easy for them to say they didn't want it in there and it was added later on. It was not. They have a special effects team. So right as we get there, that's Professor Harrington headed to talk to Julian Carswell in Lufford Hall. There's the hall, and there's Julian with his mama. He's a mama's boy. I wonder what happened to her at the end of the movie. The world, Mrs. Carswell. That's Athena Sailor. She's wonderful. The whole cast is wonderful. He's been chosen, so it's the 9 o'clock. He tries to recant, but of course he doesn't. It's too late. He's going home, and there it appears. So, I mean, right away. Now, we don't see the entire thing. It's kept in the shadows. I get it. It would have been a more psychological horror to just suggest that there was a demon and not prove it. As a kid who loves monsters, I mean, I'm glad there's a demon. I did not see this growing up. Didn't see it at all. It was ubiquitous. That picture of the demon was everywhere. It was on the cover of Famous Monsters. You could find it everywhere. So I find it hard to believe that anyone was planning on not using it. And it's a puppet. It's not I think that's the foot there that you see there. And Professor Harrington, played by Maurice Denham, is toast, but he's also been electrocuted, so you can't prove it was anything else. There he is. It's a very effective puppet. It's probably a good-sized puppet. I'll quit saying that. But the model is wonderful. It's drools, and it's gross, and it's scarifying. It's truly terrifying. So there's we fade into this, that he throws it in, and then we fade to this model of an airplane, and there we meet our hero, Dana Andrews. And as you know, Prunes gave him the runes, and I'll try not to say it too much, but yes, and this is a Blu-ray version of it that a friend of the show, Dan Ross, told me about. It's 4 discs. So many versions, all 4 versions, UK version, US version, the shortened versions, big deal. I think it's 4 discs. It's got a great booklet and all sorts of things. I'll probably do a little short of it, maybe tomorrow, just to show you what's in it. So he's trying to sleep, Dr. John Holden, but unfortunately, Joanna Harrington, Peggy Cummings, is keeping him awake. They land, and he's greeted by Professor Harrington's assistant, and he's like, tells him, oh, he's dead now. And she's trying to contact her uncle because she's Joanna Harrington. And they're in there. So these are the associates. That gentleman there is Liam Redmond, who we've seen just recently in The Ghost of Mr. Chicken as Kelsey. So he had quite the long career. I don't know why this did that, and it did that a couple. This is from the Blu-ray. I don't know why the screens are like that, so I'm sorry. Holden's out of the shower because he's traveled, 8 hours, and he's probably, depending on where he came from in the States. There's the sketch Hobart did. We'll meet Hobart later, of the demon, and there's the demon. So, and that is Kumar, Professor Kumar, Peter Elliott, not close to sounding Indian, but it was 57. But he's probably the smartest one He gets a call from there's Julian, making a call, making his introduction. If you heard that, that was my sainted mother celebrating a Broncos accidental victory yet again. So off he goes to the library. He does not meet a ghost there, but he does. He gets a whole stack of big old books. This movie again has big books of magic. Julian introduces himself and says, "You should give this up." And now he's passing the rune and gives him a cool card and then does some parlor tricks. Then it fades. So they meet again at the funeral and say, "Oh, okay." And now he's kind of, and Dr. Holden is a wolf, and he's like, "Oh, she's cute," and she is cute, but she's also very smart. She's a teacher in the States, and Peggy is just a really good actress. Again, she passed away at the age of 92 in December of 2017. So yeah, she's got in lots of movies, none of which I've seen aside from this one. Go figure. To the surprise of no one, but they're kind of like, okay, let's go out to see Carswell. So off they go. There's a nice shot there of the estate. Carswell's Blotto or somebody, the clown. And he's a magician. So he's also a magician, not just a worshiper of some kind of cult. And he's charming. Neil McGinnis is charming as this villain. I mean, we know he's the villain. I mean, you figure it out pretty easily because at the beginning of the movie, we find out he's the demon. He's not the demon. But he's got, he's like, there's his mom who's making homemade ice cream. And there's snakes and ladders, which, as we know in this country, is chutes and ladders. I lost a game to a 4-year-old playing that. She cheated, but her mother never let me forget. So as kids, he magics out chocolate bars, and then he conjures a storm. A little too powerful, but he's like, "You don't believe me?" Then look, there is the book. Now this is the book that Equinox pilfered from. Well, borrowed, because the Necronomicon was around long before that even, but it's been around, a book of ancient magic with demons and such. Now, Joanna is way smarter than Holden. And then of course, Julian says, "Mom, don't show that stuff. Do you not understand the price I pay for keeping us in this lifestyle? Look he's got so many books." And she's just like, "Sure, I do." She's a little potty, as the English would say, but she's also, the whole cast is charming. I can't tell you how good they are. There's a book called Running with the Devil, which I had a copy of and sold for a ridiculous amount of money when I needed it. So the movie itself is based on the original story, Casting of the Runes by M.R. James. I think I've read it, but I don't remember it. It's from 1911, so it's in the public domain. You can probably find it easily anywhere. Yeah, 1911, 95 years, yeah. So just, I love these shots. Tournier is a great, I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm not, Tournier. But geez, he did a great job. We have more of a discussion. He thinks it's cold outside, and it's not. But all of his pages in his calendar are gone after he's only allowed 3 days. They have dinner because he likes her. He tries to make the moves on her, and she says, "Forget about it." Yep, see? And he's like, "Oh, I have it here." Uh-oh, there's the runes that he needs to pass now. They decide, and it tries to get away to burn itself, which is what happened to Professor Harrington. So I saw this movie. I actually bought the VHS that Good Times put out, which was the 96-minute version. I never knew there was a difference. That was the only one I'd ever seen. Later on, I saw the movie. A friend of mine got a print of it, a 16 millimeter print, and screened it at La Paloma, the theater in Encinitas. I hope it's still there. Wonderful old theater. Showed Rocky Horror Picture Show every Saturday night at midnight. That was the last time I ever saw it in the theater. But he screened it, And it was the short version. And I was sitting with a friend of mine, Ed, and I'm sorry, Ed, I'm forgetting your name. He's passed away since then, but he was telling me that this was the cut version, and he knew way more about it than I did because I'd never seen a cut version. I was like, why is there a cut version? 82 minutes. They trimmed out 14 minutes, and it was probably a lot of this. They go to the Hobart farm, and they see that he's been chosen, and they just summarily, because their son, the Hobart that's still alive, who's Nutso, had passed it to a friend who got killed by the demon. And there's a sign, Zoso maybe. Don't think that Jimmy Page did not see this movie. So Holden goes to Stonehenge, and he actually looks like a midget. That's what it was supposed to look like. Oh, Nigel. And he finds this, but he doesn't have a translation. And those are just actual runes. I mean, even Tolkien used based the Elven script on runes. I just included this because there's a cat. So now they're at a seance, which is one of the lighter moments because it's been dark. But aside from Julian being just hilariously funny and his mom being slightly funny. So there's our medium, and he has several people show up, and finally Professor I'm drawing a blank. Harrington shows up, and they try to get it out of him. Holden's not buying it. He thinks he's a fake. Turns on the lights. You don't ever do that in a seance. Jeez. Julian grabs his mom again. These two are oblivious to what's going on. Driving. So they're going to go steal the book and read it. Well, she's there, and he's going to go get it. So off he goes to burglarize, break and enter. I mean, look at the way this is lit. I mean, everything, it's dark. It's dark, but it's still well lit that you can see what's going on. Compare this to, and this print is beautiful. They did such a great job. I mean, and there's Gray Malkin. They're always called, how many gray cats are named Gray Malkin in this country, in this world? I mean, yeah. So Carswell has translated the book. And the cat turns into a cougar or a cheetah or something and slashes at him. But look at this, is so cute. I mean, any man that loves cats, he can't be that bad. But he says, oh, well, there you go. He's like, it's all right, mother. Off he goes. He wanted him to go out the front door. Holden left through the window again. He came in through the bathroom window. But guess what he runs into? Dun, dun, dun. Something in there. So he goes to the police who are like, right. And then they're like, well, they have this interesting problem. Like, he's not wrong, but. And he makes a snide remark to Joanna, who cuts him off and says, fine, get it, kill yourself. I don't care. It is such a good movie. I mean, I just love these shots. And she's still trying to do the right thing because she's tired of it. And he's like, nope, come on, Mom. So they're going to bring Hobart around. So this is Hobart, who is Brian Wilde as Rand Hobart. No, wouldn't know, but. And he's catatonic, so they give him a drug, they hypnotize him and wake him up, and he tells what's going to happen. And he flings himself out of the window and kills himself. And then they're like, well, and now he's decided he believes. So off he goes, but to find Joanna. Jumps in there. Carswell's got Joanna in a trance, brings her out. She says, he's terrified of you. So he says, well, if I'm going to die in 3 minutes, I can have a smoke. You want one? No. He's like, and these are the policemen that Holden said, follow me. And they're like, he's like, this man is accosting me. I need to leave. So there we go. And then Holden gives him his coat and he takes it. Dun, dun, dun. And it flies out of his hands and runs down there, lands on the third rail, and fries. So now Carswell is doomed. He's as doomed as doomed can be, I must say. And it shows up again. And it's drooling now. And it looks like it's on the train. So, it could be train smoke, hallucination. He's running. You almost feel sorry for him, but power demands a price, right? And that's what we've always been told, no matter how much power it is. The engineers see something, but they don't see that. And there's just smoke. They did a really good job with this thing. I mean, people that say puppets can't work as well as, say, stop motion or men in suits, this proves them wrong. I mean, this movie is awesome. And that is just a terrifying. This beast is really, I mean, and they're like, maybe it's best not to know because they think the train hit them. And off they go. And that is the end of our movie. There's the train station, the end. But wait, there's more. So here are the U.S. credits. I thought we'd take a look at that because this is pretty much the only difference in the movies. Dana Andrews gets top billing because nobody else would have known who anyone else was. Curse of the Demon. They changed it to Curse of the Demon. Night of the Demon actually works better, but it's all right. And then Neil and Peggy gets second billing, and Neil gets third, and then the rest of them are in there. But that's it, and directed by Jacques Tourneur. It's exactly the same after that. So that is our episode. Tomorrow we will be reviewing 3 more episodes of The Savage Dragon, which it's growing on me. I mean, it's not ever going to be one of my favorites, but for 26 episodes. But having said all that, my fellow agents, I hope you've enjoyed this super scary 666th episode. And I really did want to use the beginning of the Number of the Beast from Iron Maiden, but I forgot. So, until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
You live through 1,000 torments of sheer shock as vampires, demons, and ghouls meet the hideous wolf monster in Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. Don't miss Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. It's a super shock spectacle of hideous horror in Chillerama 70 and gory color. Rated GP.